It's an honor for us when filmmakers choose Sundance to premiere a film, especially when it's an artist like Titus Kaphar. I think many of you may know that Titus is a world-renowned painter, and after directing the Oscar shortlisted Shut Up and Paint, Titus returns to film with his first feature-length project. I was trying to figure out how to briefly and succinctly introduce this screening, and I decided to rely on a few words written by my good colleague Shari Freelo. So I'm just going to share a sentence from what she wrote about Exhibiting Forgiveness. This soulful, sophisticated, and beautifully crafted debut feature blossoms a hard-to-tell story about destructive parenting, the seasons of angst weathered by an abused child, becoming a successful human being, and the deep meaning and salve of creative practice. I think that says it so well, I wouldn't even want to attempt to say it any better than Shari did. I'm really thrilled to be able to stand here today to introduce you to this terrific filmmaker, to this special film, and to this feature debut here at Sundance 2024. To join us on stage, please give a warm Sundance welcome to Titus Kaphar. First, I'm up. All right. So, I hate previews to movies. I really do. And the reason I hate previews is because sometimes you end up knowing exactly what's going to happen after seeing the preview. So, I'm about to tell you nothing. But what I am going to say is I'm so grateful to Sundance to be here. I'm grateful for my wife and my kids who made it possible for me to stay sane during this process. I'm grateful for the cast and crew who held me up the entire time. This is weird right now. This moment is weird. I'm, sort of used to being in the spotlight a little bit for my paintings because I make my paintings. I didn't make this film alone. No film was made alone. There are a lot of people who will not be on this stage that need to be celebrated as well. So real quick, all cast, crew, and producers, please just stand up real quick. Thank you so much. Exhibiting Forgiveness. Congratulations, Titus, and if I may bring up, please, some of your collaborators. Please join me in welcoming to the stage, and I'm going to list off a few names. Andre Holland. Taylor in France, and Stephanie Allen. Come on up. Congratulations to everyone who's here with us on stage. Yeah, come on, step right up to this blue line. Let everybody get a good look at you and snap your photo, which is happening right now as well. And there's a lot of folks in the audience also who brought this film to life. We have like 15 minutes for a conversation about a film that invites so much of a dialogue. But we're at a film festival. This is the beginning of a conversation about this film. that will continue beyond this week. Titus, I'm going to start with you.
Sure.
We know that you had a collection of work, of visual paintings with the same title, Exhibiting Forgiveness. Can you elaborate on the conversation, whether with yourself or some of the collaborators on stage, that preceded bringing this to the screen? Some of the early conversations you had about wanting to take what started in one form and medium and evolve it to another.
Before I answer that, I just wanted to say to my other producer who's too scared to come up on stage, Sean Cotton. You wouldn't be able to do this, so you sit where you sit. I try really hard never to see it as different. That is, never to see film as a different kind of practice than painting. So the kinds of decisions I make, the same way I make decisions in the studio, is the same way I make decisions on the set, while writing, while painting. And as I've said before, it started with experience. The experience led to writing. The writing led to paintings. Painting led to the script, and then the film started making more paintings. So it's been this cycle, and it still continues.
Thank you. To anyone on the cast who wants to dive in on this, I'm going to build on what Titus was just saying and dig into this notion of experience, this continuation of exhibiting forgiveness through these different forms, coming from Titus's experience, the conversations you all had with Titus, but also how you wove in and were thinking about your own experience as well, and bringing your characters to life, and the conversations you had with Titus about how you would do that. I think, Andre, you're being invited to talk first, if you don't mind.
I'm so afraid of that. Thank y'all for being here, first of all. I'll just say quickly, I think one of the things that comes to mind as you asked that question and as you spoke was, this is a brilliant group of artists up here, and I think that one thing that they all do is give all of themselves to it. So I'm reminded right now of one particular night on set, of which there were many, where we were in a scene that was, dealing with grief, and several of us who were a part of that scene needed to take a moment and step away. And I think that was because that grief, that feeling that the characters are trying to metabolize, was really very much on the surface for all of us. And so I think that the movie, in addition to being, I think, a beautiful film, is also like an invitation. I think it was an invitation for us and a gift, I think, to us to help process some of the things that we've been going through. So that's what comes to mind for me. Ian, what you think, man? You're so wonderful.
First off, I just want to say thank you to Titus for being a wonderful director. It was wonderful working with everyone here on this cast, and I want to thank everyone that was involved for making it a safe place, because without me feeling comfortable, I feel like I couldn't have done the work that I did. So I just want to say thank you to everyone.
I'm looking at Anjali, I'm looking at Andra, John. Building on what your fellow team and casting crew were saying, I'd love to hear more about each of you finding that space, carving out that space for yourself, weaving in the experiences that Titus is talking about, but also marrying that, matching that with your own, to find that authenticity, that connection to the work, that ability to bring something up to the screen that really, for me, jumps off the screen.
In order. First of all, I would also like to jump in and just say thank you, Titus, not only for allowing us to be part of this film, but for being willing to be so vulnerable and to share your story, and just for making this film. I think it speaks to a lot of people in the audience, and I think it really causes you to just sit with yourself and think. I'm kind of understanding the question. You're talking about experience, our own personal experiences. I think the first thing that comes to mind is that most of us, I mean, dare I say, I'm venturing to say, most of us probably have some form of brokenness or dysfunction in our families, right? If anybody agree? Yeah, so I think for me, approaching this film, Titus is he's an emotional person and he's a driven person, and I think he allowed a lot of space for us to express ourselves in. And I think for me, I looked at it as a cathartic and a therapeutic experience. I was able to, just get on set and work out my own family issues, and particularly the idea of wanting to create a life that you've not necessarily experienced or you've not necessarily seen. I think that was, for us, for you and I, that was kind of the bulk of our conversation was, and that's where the song came from, actually, is that this idea.
Is that a great song?
But I think the idea of the song, Gregson, we collaborated on that, so he also deserves a round of applause for that as well. But the idea is, I said this before, but I still, I really do believe in miracles, but I think they're more practical than we think. And the idea that we can somehow create a future or a reality that we've never seen or experienced was really what was impressed upon my spirit, and that's kind of the space we shared. So I'm grateful for that.
Okay, here we go. For me, once again, Titus, thanks, man. You know the journey, so thank you again. This man has a way of just landing blank canvas out there, right? But the hardest part was for me was not trying to play a crack addict or an ex-crack addict like anyone has ever seen. I wanted him to still be human. I didn't want him to be a person that was just always like he couldn't work or he couldn't do anything but think about crack. He did have a family. He did want to provide for his family, but he also had this addiction. And Titus allowed me to create that character without going out, way out to the deep end of that and making it look crazy. So I thank you for that. So once again, having that blank canvas to do that for me was one of the hardest parts. Before we go on, I just realized Jamie is not on stage here. No, not you, Jamie. Yeah, you. No, now I'm calling you. You need to come up here. What are you doing, man? She's waiting. Come on. Stop pretending like you don't want to be up here. All right. Go ahead.
Anjanu, I'd love to give you a moment to reflect and to talk about maybe some of the conversations that you and Titus had as you were crafting and shaping how you would find this character and portray this character.
Well, I had the honor of playing his mom, and that I felt that was a responsibility. And she's out in the audience, right?
Yeah.
Can she stand up? So I just want to say thank you for trusting me with that. And we talked a lot. We have a shared religious background, so we did a lot of talking. And I agree with what what my coworkers have said, that I was in a safe space, you know, safe and dangerous at the same time, which I love.
Thank you. Stephanie, Jamie, Derek, maybe help us, maybe share with us and help us understand how you created a space for this continuity that Titus is talking about, this continuity of an artist moving through these different ways of expressing and exploring a story, a topic, how you worked and collaborated with Titus, with each other, to create that space and to make that room for this exploration.
Sure. Thank you, guys. This is so exciting. I worked with Derek and Jamie and Sean and Stephanie and Claire, and the producers really, in fact, everybody who meets this man wants to just do whatever he asks us to do. He's got this way of bringing you in, and we said whatever you need. You know, that's pretty much what it did. It was the smoothest shoot. It was a beautiful shoot. We did try to keep a safe space because there was a lot of emotion going on almost every day, especially with Titus. And we just wanted to make sure that everybody had what they needed and that we were all in it together. And I think it shows.
This audience has responded so strongly.
It's usually not the good stuff. Have you, on this journey, found a path to memory essentially?
Question about your path to navigating the memories of both the positive and the negative, right? How do we move beyond just remembering the pain to the sunshine, the bright?
The bad memories are more saturated than the good. That's not what you're talking about, right? Yeah, definitely. But the bad ones are still loud. You know, you remember the good ones, and for some reason, it's just for a lot of us anyway. The bad ones are still really loud. So you have to tell yourself that there was good times, and you have to believe that.
I see a brightly colored cap. Yeah.
I don't know if it's from your artist background, but just every shot was so saturated, and I was wondering how many times you had to like work with, like when your mother was up against the red wall with her top. Did you have to change the color palette when you were trying to express something specific?
Question about the use of color palette. Sorry, Titus, what did you say?
I'm sorry. My team should be answering this question. Olivia, did we change the color palette? Yeah. Olivia's our production designer. She put up with a lot. That last location is not where that scene was supposed to be shot. But being that I am moved by color, when I saw that wall, I was like, so, Locke, I think we should move over here. He's like, are you sure you want to be up against the wall, just like that? I said, I think so, well, let's do it. And so there were so many moments in production where we were delivered the perfect space. Yeah, where's Phil? Location. We didn't paint that house. Joyce's house, we didn't paint that house. That's what color her house was on the inside. There were so many moments like that on this film, where it was like pure serendipity. You walk in and it's like, this is right. The scene in the swimming pool, that was supposed to be a basketball court. But we saw that space and it was like, oh, let's go.
Question is about mining the memories, and this viewer wanting to get into your mind a little bit about how you navigate the big memories and also the small, and finding those that would influence this story.
Well, first and foremost, this is not a documentary. Let's be clear. So I actually started this project by doing the documentary and realized I did not want to tell the story that way. It was actually a little too much for me, to be completely honest with you. And so there's a way in which I was mining my memories or covering them in fiction so that it felt safe to tell the truth. I hope that makes sense.
I know there's more questions, and as I said at the beginning, this is a conversation about a film and a work that we will continue to have this week and beyond this festival. So I want to congratulate everyone involved on bringing this film to Sundance and sharing it with us here at the festival. And wishing you all the best.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.